In today's interconnected world, global travel has never been more accessible. Yet certain destinations still pose significant challenges for specific groups due to cultural differences, political history, or systemic issues. In this comprehensive exploration, we'll delve into 10 countries where African Americans may encounter difficulties or restrictions while traveling in 2025. From discriminatory practices to strict immigration laws, we'll uncover the reasons behind these challenges and provide valuable insights to help our viewers navigate these complex landscapes. Through a blend of data and real-life scenarios, we aim to equip our audience with the knowledge and understanding necessary to embark on these journeys with confidence and resilience. Number 10. North Korea. North Korea, a nation shrouded in mystery, imposes stringent restrictions on all foreign visitors, making it an especially daunting destination for African Americans. The country's extreme surveillance measures and state-controlled approach to foreign interactions create an intimidating and unwelcoming environment, even though official travel bans do not specifically target this demographic. Reports suggest that biases against Western influences can exacerbate the challenges faced by African American travelers, who may encounter heightened scrutiny, surveillance, and cultural misunderstandings. With limited access to embassies and a high level of state monitoring, navigating this isolated nation can be an overwhelming and potentially perilous endeavor. The isolated nature of North Korea, combined with its unwavering grip on foreign interactions, cultivates an environment that is particularly inhospitable for African Americans, who may find the potential risks and difficulties involved in visiting this destination simply too daunting to consider, unless absolutely necessary. Despite the allure of exploring the enigmatic country, the overwhelming obstacles and risks associated with travel to North Korea, particularly for African Americans, make it a destination that is better avoided, unless one is willing to confront the unique challenges and dangers that come with traversing this isolated and tightly controlled nation. Number 9. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, a nation deeply rooted in tradition, presents a cultural landscape that can pose significant challenges for African Americans, particularly for women. Instances of racial profiling have been reported, most notably at immigration checkpoints. Although Saudi Arabia has in recent years opened its doors to tourism, the strict social norms and unspoken biases within the country can make navigating everyday life a daunting task. Additionally, African American tourists may find themselves under heightened scrutiny due to a complex history of misunderstandings about race and identity within the region. Navigating the conservative and at times insensitive cultural dynamics of Saudi Arabia requires a high degree of cultural awareness and sensitivity, making it a destination that African Americans must approach with caution and thorough preparation. The deeply rooted social and cultural traditions of Saudi Arabia, combined with a history of racial misunderstandings, create an environment that can be particularly unwelcoming and even dangerous for African American travelers. Number 8. Russia. In recent years, Russia has faced increasing criticism for a concerning rise in reports of racism and xenophobia. African Americans traveling to this nation often recount experiences of uncomfortable stares, verbal harassment, and even overt acts of discrimination in public spaces. This issue has been particularly prevalent in smaller, less diverse towns, where the exposure to multiculturalism is more limited. While major cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg may feel relatively more inclusive, African Americans should exercise caution and be prepared to navigate potential cultural misunderstandings or prejudices when exploring the Russian Federation. The presence of such biases and hostility towards diversity can create an unwelcoming and, at times, even perilous environment for African American travelers. The resurgence of reported racism and xenophobia in Russia, particularly in smaller, less diverse areas, presents a significant challenge for African American travelers, who may face verbal harassment, discrimination, and even physical threats in certain parts of the country. As a result, African Americans considering visiting Russia must weigh the potential risks and be prepared to confront the unique challenges that come with navigating a social climate that has become increasingly intolerant, particularly towards those outside the dominant ethnic and cultural mainstream. Number 7. China. China, a country renowned for its rich cultural heritage and captivating landscapes, also presents a mixed bag of experiences for African American travelers. On one hand, the nation offers incredible travel opportunities and exposure to a fascinating civilization. However, the cultural differences and occasional biases within Chinese society can pose challenges for African Americans. In some rural areas, reports indicate that African Americans have been treated as curiosities or subjected to stereotypes, highlighting the need for greater cultural awareness and sensitivity. While overt discrimination may be less common in major tourist hubs, more subtle biases, such as difficulty in renting accommodations or receiving slower service, have been noted. African Americans planning to visit China would do well to stick to metropolitan cities and rely on the guidance of local experts to better navigate any potential barriers or obstacles they may encounter. The cultural complexities and occasional biases present in China create a mixed experience for African American travelers, who must navigate a delicate balance between embracing the nation's wonders and confronting societal prejudices. Number 6. Israel. Israel, a popular destination for many travelers, has been the site of reports where African Americans have faced excessive questioning or heightened scrutiny at immigration checkpoints. The reasons behind this often stem from heightened security concerns and misunderstandings about identity. In addition to these challenges, instances of racial profiling have also been documented, leaving some African American travelers feeling unwelcome and subjected to undue scrutiny. For African Americans considering a visit to Israel, it is advisable to prepare for the possibility of longer interrogations and to ensure that their travel documentation is thoroughly organized and up to date. Navigating the complex security environment and cultural dynamics in Israel requires a heightened level of awareness and preparation to ensure a smooth and enjoyable travel experience. The heightened security concerns and potential for racial profiling at Israel's borders create a significant obstacle for African American travelers, who must be prepared to navigate a complex and often unwelcoming environment. Number 5. Turkey. Turkey, a nation where East and West converge, is a melting pot of cultures and traditions. However, African Americans may still face challenges in certain parts of the country due to lingering biases and stereotypes. Tourists have reported occasional instances of discrimination in public places, such as restaurants or markets. While major cities like Istanbul are generally more diverse and welcoming, African Americans visiting rural areas of Turkey might encounter an outdated view of race and identity that can create uncomfortable or even unwelcoming situations. Navigating the cultural landscape of Turkey requires a delicate balance of respect for local customs and a firm stance against unfair treatment, as African American travelers seek to immerse themselves in the country's rich heritage and natural beauty. The cultural complexities and lingering biases within certain regions of Turkey present a challenging environment for African American travelers, who must carefully navigate a nuanced landscape of hospitality and prejudice, remaining vigilant and adaptable to ensure a safe and meaningful travel experience. Number 4. Iran. Iran, renowned for its breathtaking landscapes and rich historical legacy, can also be a challenging destination for African American travelers. Strict visa policies, heightened political tensions with Western countries, and a general lack of diversity awareness within Iranian society contribute to the difficulties faced by African Americans visiting this nation. In addition to the potential for additional scrutiny during the visa approval process, African Americans may also encounter cultural challenges when engaging with locals who are less familiar with the nuances of multiculturalism. The political climate and cultural dynamics within Iran can create a sense of unease and discomfort for some African American visitors, who may feel isolated or misunderstood in their interactions with the local population. Navigating the complex political landscape and social fabric of Iran requires meticulous planning, a deep understanding of the country's customs and regulations, and a willingness to approach the experience with an open and adaptable mindset. African American travelers must be prepared to confront heightened security concerns, navigate cultural misunderstandings, and address the general lack of diversity awareness that exists within Iranian society. The political realities and cultural idiosyncrasies of Iran create a multifaceted set of obstacles for African American travelers, who must delicately balance their desire to explore the country's rich heritage and natural beauty with the need to ensure their safety and comfort during their visit. Number 3. Lebanon. Lebanon, a vibrant nation with a rich cultural heritage, presents a complicated landscape for African American travelers. Social biases rooted in the country's complex history with race and identity can create challenges for African American visitors. While Lebanon is widely known for its hospitality, some African American tourists have reported feeling unwelcome in certain establishments or facing stereotyping and prejudice. Despite these obstacles, the nation's major cities, such as Beirut, tend to offer a more inclusive experience, making them safer and more welcoming options for African American travelers. Navigating the cultural complexities of Lebanon requires a heightened sense of awareness, a willingness to engage with locals, and a commitment to respecting the country's diverse traditions and customs. The social biases and complicated history of race relations in Lebanon present a challenging environment for African American travelers, who must navigate a delicate balance of cultural immersion and self-advocacy to ensure a safe and meaningful experience. Number 2. Japan. Japan, a nation renowned for its technological prowess and cultural refinement, can also present subtle barriers for African American travelers. The country's emphasis on cultural homogeneity often leads to misunderstandings and misconceptions about diversity. African Americans visiting Japan might encounter microaggressions or stereotyping, particularly in more rural areas where international exposure is limited. Instances of being refused entry to certain establishments or being viewed as a novelty have been reported by African American tourists. While Japan's hospitality industry is generally welcoming, African American travelers should prepare for occasional cultural insensitivity and plan their trips around metropolitan areas like Tokyo or Osaka, where diversity is more prevalent and acceptance is more widespread. The cultural homogeneity and occasional insensitivity within Japanese society can create subtle yet pervasive barriers for African American travelers, who must navigate a complex web of microaggressions and stereotyping, particularly in more rural or homogeneous areas of the country. Number 1. The Czech Republic. The Czech Republic, renowned for its picturesque cities and historic landmarks, has seen a concerning rise in reports of racial discrimination in recent years, making it a more cautious and challenging landscape for African American travelers. While the capital city of Prague offers a more cosmopolitan environment with fewer challenges, African Americans visiting this European nation may encounter unfriendly attitudes or biases, especially in smaller, less diverse towns and communities. Navigating the Czech Republic as an African American requires a heightened sense of awareness, a willingness to thoroughly research local customs, attitudes, and the overall climate of diversity and inclusion, as well as the ability to adapt to potential cultural misunderstandings or prejudices that may arise during their journey. The increasing reports of racial discrimination, particularly in smaller, less diverse areas, have forced African American travelers to carefully weigh the risks and take proactive steps to ensure their safety and comfort as they seek to experience the country's rich cultural heritage and stunning architecture that continues to attract visitors from around the world. Thank you for watching. Understanding these travel restrictions helps us stay informed and plan smarter journeys. While it's disheartening to see barriers still exist in certain countries, it's always best to prioritize safety and compliance with regulations. Travel should be a source of joy and exploration, so let's focus on destinations that welcome us with open arms. If you found this video helpful or eye-opening, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more engaging and informative content. Hit that notification bell so you'd never miss an update. Safe travels, and we'll see you in the next video.